So, what if I told you that one of the most incredible stories of the Cold War isn't found in some dusty old spy novel, but, well, it's hidden inside a totally standard government form from 1987? I know, right? On the surface, it is just a self-assessment, and it's full of technical jargon. But inside this, bureaucratic shell is the story of a truly remarkable person, a career right at the heart of the Cold War, and a vision of the future that is, frankly, just astonishing.
And here it is. This is the document itself. It's typed out, photocopied, it's just full of acronyms and references to attachments that, let's be honest, we're probably never going to see. It looks like any other piece of government paperwork you could imagine, but for us, this is a treasure map. It's our window into a world of high-stakes engineering, and it immediately gets you thinking about one crucial question.
I mean, who was this engineer? And what on earth was so important that he had to document his skills in such meticulous, almost exhaustive detail? Come on, let's peel back the layers of this official record and see what we can find. Okay, so first things first, we need to kind of learn the language of this world. To really decode this thing, we have to understand its most basic building block.
Everything in here, and I mean everything, is organized by JEDs. That's J-E-D, and it stands for Job Element Descriptions. You can think of them as specific skills, like written communication or analytical ability. And for every single JED, our engineer had to provide proof, actual evidence, for why he deserved a certain rating.
And right away, we get this little glimpse of his personality. He's confident, for sure, and he's got the receipts to back it up. He's not just lazily filling out a form here. He's actually making a case for himself, referencing awards and excellent reviews. And believe me, this is just the beginning.
All right, now for the fun part. Let's start translating some of this bureaucratic language into real-world impact. Because behind all these dry job titles are actual projects that saved money, protected people, and honestly, helped shape history. So take this JED, for example, contract management. It sounds pretty standard, right? Maybe even a little boring. You're probably picturing paperwork, phone calls, budgets. But what he actually did under this heading was anything but boring. Turns out, he was a key player in converting an old computer system to a modern personal computer. And the result? A net savings to the government of over $9,000 a year. And remember, we're talking $1987. That's a real, tangible result from a seemingly mundane task.
Okay, here's another one. Industrial safety. Again, sounds procedural, right? Like he's just filling out accident reports. But our guy, ever the innovator, took a completely proactive approach. He didn't just manage safety, he totally reimagined it. He created a brand new safety incentive program that was designed to reward injury-free employment. And you can see the results for yourself, right here, a 14% drop in both on-the-job and off-the-job injuries. This isn't just about numbers. This is about people going home safe at the end of the day, all because of his work. And this is where the story really starts to get bigger. See, his work wasn't just happening in a vacuum. It was happening at the absolute peak of the Cold War, and he was right there, smack in the middle of it all. As you read further into the document, these names just start to pop up. The Pershing II missile, Haiti, which was the high endo-atmospheric defense interceptor. I mean, these weren't just any old projects. They were absolutely critical pieces of the United States' missile defense strategy.
The stakes for his risk analysis work were just unbelievably high. He was literally calculating the odds of a multi-million-dollar missile test failing just because of some data glitch. Can you imagine the pressure? It must have been immense. But the level of detail he had to account for went way, way beyond just the hardware. The scope of his safety analysis was just staggering, and it led to one of the most surprising sentences in the entire document. Seriously, I had to read that twice. As part of a missile test, his team actually had to calculate the probability of debris hitting a wildlife refuge and harming an endangered species. It's this incredible intersection of immense technological power and, delicate ecological concern. Wow.
So, okay, he was clearly a brilliant technical mind. We've established that. But the document also reveals something deeper. He was a deeply thoughtful and empathetic manager with a leadership philosophy that was, decades ahead of its time. He actually describes his process. When he took over as supervisor, he met with every single employee one-on-one. And he didn't ask about their tasks. He asked about their goals in life, what they actually enjoyed doing, what they despised. And then, get this, he restructured the entire department to align people's jobs with their passions and skills. The result? A way more efficient and engaged team. And just when you think you have a handle on who this person is,
get ready for the final amazing twist. At the very end of this professional self-review, under a heading called Outside Interests, he documents his hobby.
He designed and built completely from scratch a home automation system in the mid-1980s. Just let that sink in for a second. It monitored temperatures, it controlled the heat and AC to save energy, it woke his family up with a synthesized voice, it watered the lawn, and it even announced the time every hour. This is the smart home we all talk about today, but he built it himself almost 40 years ago.
And he wasn't shy about it either. He documented the whole system with its nearly 1,000 lines of code right here in his official government performance review. He just saw his passion for technology as a complete part of who he was, whether he was at his desk or tinkering in his workshop at home.
So, when you put all these pieces together, all these JEDs and performance notes, a complete person starts to emerge from the bureaucratic text. The ghost in the machine is finally revealed. He wasn't just one thing. He was this meticulous engineer saving the government money, a strategist working on top-secret missile defense, a compassionate manager who genuinely cared about his team's happiness, and a visionary tinkerer building the future in his spare time.
And in the end, it really seems his superiors agreed. Tucked away in a reference to one of his performance reviews is this simple but really powerful sentence. It has nothing to do with missiles or computers. It's about his humanity. Mr. Marsh is a good supervisor who can get the most out of people.
And that leaves us with one final thought. This raw, detailed, and completely unfiltered document from 1987 tells this incredibly rich story about one person's life and work. And it really makes you wonder, in our age of polished resumes and carefully curated online profiles, what ghost will our own documents leave behind? What story will they really tell about us?